Alright, so I will be doing the valve lash on my 1993 Honda Civic DX. It has a D15B7 engine with a stock head, no mini-me swap on it yet. And to start off with doing the valve lash, you are going to want to take off all the spark plug boots and relocate them. And then there will be 4 10mm bolts all the way around, or nuts, and you're just going to want to loosen those. There we go. And you do not have to have your intake off for this. I just had it off for a different video that I was recording. Once you have those all loosened up, move your ground wire somewhere else, and you're just going to want to take off all of your seals. And for me, I have these aluminum washers that I used because my stock washers couldn't hold the 7 foot-pound torque that you're supposed to torque them down to. And they're all kind of like stuck on. Oh, okay, that hit the ground. We're good. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna need a glass head to coax that out of its spot. God, these things are slippery. Okay, so I've got all 4 of those seals and washers off. And let me just grab them all with my magnet. There we go. Easy peasy. It's probably the hardest part of doing valve lash, honestly. And then right here, for your PVC vent, you're going to want to loosen this hose clamp a bit. Just like that. It'll come right off. And now, you just lift your valve cover right off. There. Put this somewhere safe. There we go. And now you have all of your valves exposed. So you want to get it to top dead center first. And to do that on this engine, you want to look at the cam gear. So on the cam gear, there are 3 marks and something that says up right here for me. So you have 2 marks that are even, they're flat, and you want to line those 2 marks up with the head flat like this, and up needs to be up. And if you're like that, you'll be at top dead center. I have a big old ratchet to do that. And you're just going to want to line those up as best you can. There we go. Let me put my car in neutral. There we go. Now it should be fine. Oh, overshot just a bit. Bring it back. And there we go. That's pretty level. Let me look. For valve lash, you're going to need what is called a feeler gauge. Looks like this, with multiple different sizes. You're going to need one with a 7 thousandths and a 5 thousandths gauge on it. I don't have that, but I do have one with a 6 thousandths gauge on it, and that will be close enough. So, if I remember correctly, intake is supposed to be set at 7 thousandths, and exhaust is supposed to be set at 5 thousandths. Now, we are at top dead center, and as you can see, there are some valves that are compressed and some valves that are not. So on the exhaust side of things, let me see here. Yeah, okay. On the exhaust side of things, you're going to be doing 1 and 3 first. Cylinders 1 and 3. You're going to set the lash on those. And on intake side, you're going to be doing 2 and 4. So first, before you loosen anything, you're just going to want to check your lash on all of your cylinders, or you're just going to want to check the lash on exhausts 1 and 3 and intakes 2 and 4. Now, I already know 4 is loose because there, and that's where my noise was coming from. These are like visibly loose, and whereas this is what a normal cylinder should look like, about that much there. Like, you should hear barely nothing, and you definitely shouldn't be able to see it move a lot visibly. This is way out of lash. I'm lucky I didn't cause damage to my engine running it like that. But you know what they say, no harm, no foul. So we're just going to check the lash, and what you're looking for is the gauge will go in with a little bit of drag. So it shouldn't be like, but it should have a bit of resistance where it won't just fall out on its own. So let's check cylinder 1. That's good. Cylinder 2. It's a little looser than 1, but still good. Cylinder 3. It's just like that. And this one, that's a bit tight, honestly. Especially considering this is supposed to be 7 thousandths and I'm lashing it with 6 thousandths. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen that bolt. It is they're all 10 millimeters. I'm just going to go ahead and loosen that. And my 10 millimeters over here. And you'll see you have to use a screwdriver and a wrench. Okay, so I've loosened a little bit, and we're gonna check, and still a little bit tight, so we're just gonna loosen this screw just a smidge more, just like that, and now our lash is good. So what you're gonna wanna do to tighten these is when you have the nut loose and you go to tighten it, the screw inside of it likes to turn. So what you can do is put your wrench on it and put your screwdriver in there and tighten with the screwdriver in place. And once you get it after a certain amount, the screw will not follow the nut anymore. So once you get it pretty snug, you can go ahead and just tighten it up. So that's exhausts 1 and 3, done. Now let's do intakes 2 and 4 while at top dead center still. So let's check cylinder 2. Cylinder 2 is very tight. Let's check. Okay, that one's good. That one I know is loose. This one I know is loose. Okay, so I have to loosen up valve 1 on cylinder 2 and valve 1 and 2 on cylinder 4. And you should probably use an extension while you're doing this. Where are my extensions? Over here. Just a little one. So that you don't jam your knuckles on anything. There we go. Everything's nice and loosened up. So let's get the lash set properly. Now this is just comically loose, so I'm just gonna, yep, still tightening. Okay, a little bit more, okay. Okay, that's good. Let's now do this one. Okay, good. And this one over here. This one was tight. Now it is loose, so something tells me this was spinning with the nut. There we go. Good. Okay. So we have the lash set on all of them. Now tighten them up. Now remember, this one is a bit tricky. There. That should do it. There we go. And last one right here. As you can see, this can be a little bit of a handful, and it is definitely easier if you have a buddy. Now, I know that on my head, this one likes to move. The set screw likes to move, even if it's snug. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it and make sure it hasn't moved position once I tighten this up. I really tried to tighten it down with the wrench this time, so I think it'll be okay, but I might have to reset this lash. So we're good. We're good. Okay, that's tight. Okay. There we go. Okay, those are nice and tight. Now let's make sure 1 and 3, that's tight, tight, tight. This is the one that I loosened. Okay, those are all tight. So at top dead center, we have now lashed exhaust 1 and 3 and intake 2 and 4. And now that everything is tightened up, before you turn over the engine to move on to the other set of valves, it's a great idea to check your lash just to make sure. So that's good, 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 Good. And wait, 1, 3, 2, 4. Yeah. Okay. Good. 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 Ah, look at that difference. Very good. And you notice how, like, exhausts 2 and 4, they don't move at all. You hear no clicking. That's because they aren't seated, or they're pushing down right now. This one is moving, which hints to me that these are definitely loose. Those are also moving. These are not. And these are. So I can tell you already that those ones are going to be loose. Although, let me see here. Yeah, I've done the lash on the right ones. This one just isn't compressed yet, for whatever reason. But, whatever. Now, I get to turn the engine over 180 degrees and do 2 and 4 and 1 and 3. Okay, and up is now down, and I need to go a little bit more. Just like that. That's probably great. Yep, a little bit of an overshoot is what I wanted. Okay. Now, just line it up. Okay, there we go, and got to go back a little bit. Just like that. Okay, now exhaust 2 and 4 should be down, or 1 and 3 should be down, and 2 and 4 should be like that. And then intakes 2 and 4 should be down. This one is still very loose. Interesting. And that one's still very loose. Interesting. And this one's compressed. And that one's loose. Good. Okay. So, check lash, 2 and 4. Good. Good. It's a bit tight. That one's good. Okay. So we have one valve on the exhaust side that is tight. So, go ahead and loosen it up. There we go. And let's loosen this valve up a little bit. Tightened up, great time, just check your lash. this one is a bit tight. That'll work. And I didn't change any of the intakes, so those are obviously going to be good. Okay, now to put the valve cover back on, put here too. It seems as though I have a valve cover gasket leak, even here, which is probably due to those warping washers not being able to get the tightening torque I need for the valve cover. So there we go. Surface is nice and cleaned up. Now we can just drop the valve cover back into place and relocate that elsewhere for now. The intake not being in the way is wonderful for this actually. So this drops into place just like that. And check all around, make sure your gasket surface is touching all the way around. For me it is. That's good. Now you can put your seals, washers, and nuts back into place. So, there we go. Now I'm not going to use the factory washers with this time. I'm just going to use the ones that I bought. Just get all those into place. Now you probably won't have to use a torque wrench for this, but I'm going to because I've been having problems with it, with my valve cover gasket leaking, so I'm just going to use a torque wrench to make triply sure that they are in spec. So you're going to want to tighten this down to 72 inch-pounds, which is 7 foot-pounds. Tighten them down. And you're probably going to want to go in a star pattern for this. And I think that's as tight as she's going to go. Yeah. So, obviously, my threads or nuts or something is worn out here. Okay, well, I think that was more than 7 foot-pounds already, but this is a long video to do valve lash. Valve lash did not take me this long last time. Okay, now we can hook up the spark plug boots. we go. Those are now in the right place, so I can put this bolt in. Okay. There we go. That ain't going nowhere. Now let's tighten the intake up. There. That is how you do the valve lash on a D15 B7 engine. Thank you for watching.